Welcome to the Lakers News Today channel. Take the opportunity to leave that like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go to today's news.
Let's talk about Jamarian Sharp, who was recently waived by the Dallas Mavericks. He's a rookie with an impressive profile. Standing at 7 feet 6 inches with an absurd wingspan, he's an exceptional shot blocker. In college basketball, he had seasons where he averaged nearly 5 blocks per game, which is insane. Even with a drop in minutes last season, his numbers per 36 minutes suggest something close to 6 blocks per game. But the big question is, how does this translate to the NBA? We've seen several players of this height, like Taco Fall, struggle to establish themselves in the league. The issue isn't just height, it's the ability to adapt to the NBA game, which demands much more than just blocking shots. Can Sharp develop? Yes, there's potential, especially alongside a defender like Anthony Davis. Just imagine the difficulty of scoring in the paint against these two. But we need to be realistic. The Lakers already have 2 developing centers, Christian Coco and Colin Castleton, and both are vying for space. The question is, who do you prefer, Sharp or Coco? In my opinion, Coco is more prepared for the NBA level. Sharp is still quite raw and would need time to develop, maybe even around 3 years. The question is, do we have the patience to wait all that time, knowing he's already 23 years old? Don't get me wrong, I'm not against giving Sharp a chance, but we have to be strategic. If he's a long-term project, the Lakers need to think about whether it's worth investing that time in him or in other more established players like Jackson Hayes, who is young and has already shown more experience. So, what do you think? Is it worth giving Sharp a chance, or should the Lakers stick with Coco and Castleton? Will the fans have the patience for yet another developing player? I want to know your opinion. Leave in the comments how you feel about this. On the other hand, Sharp alongside Anthony Davis sounds like a nightmare for any opponent trying to attack the paint. Imagine the difficulty of scoring inside the perimeter with these 2 giants protecting the rim. But, realistically speaking, would Sharp be able to adapt to the pace of the NBA and become that elite defensive player everyone expects? Looking back, we've seen players like Taco Fall and Bol Bol, who came in with a lot of hype because of their height and wingspan, but ultimately struggled to establish themselves in the league. Could Sharp follow that path, or does he truly have the potential to be an important piece for the Lakers' future? Right now, it's hard to let go of players like Colin Castleton, who, despite some limitations, has already shown flashes of a playing style that can be useful in various situations. Additionally, Christian Coco is also an interesting prospect, and weighing him against Sharp is a delicate decision. Coco already has a bit more experience in the NBA scene, and that could be decisive when we're talking about immediacy and impact for the team. In the end, if the Lakers are planning something long-term, investing in Sharp could be worthwhile. But if the focus is on bringing someone who can contribute significantly this season, it might be better to stick with safer options, like Coco, or even look for another name in the free agent market. The lingering question is it worth betting on Sharp's future potential, knowing he might take a few years to be ready? Or is it better to stick with what we already have and seek more immediate alternatives? Besides doubts about Jamarian Sharp's development, we also need to consider how he would fit into the Lakers' tactical scheme. Coach Darvin Ham has shown a more flexible and adaptive approach, but would he be willing to change part of the rotation to give minutes to such a raw player, especially in a season that promises to be highly competitive? The Lakers have an interesting combination of experienced veterans and promising young players, but the balance between giving court time for development and competing for a title is always a delicate matter. With LeBron James and Anthony Davis still as the pillars of the team, every move in the roster needs to be well thought out. Adding a prospect like Sharp could be interesting for the future, but the Lakers are clearly in win-now mode, looking to maximize what could be the end of LeBron's title window. On the flip side, the player market is still full of opportunities. The team could pursue a more experienced center who could contribute immediately and provide security alongside AD. There are rumors circulating about veteran players like Hassan Whiteside or even the possibility of a trade for someone like Miles Turner. These names, while more expensive, would bring immediate impact in terms of rim protection and rebounding, something that Jamarian Sharp, at this stage of his career, may not be able to offer consistently. But there's another factor to consider. What if Jamarian Sharp is exactly the type of calculated risk that could turn into a pleasant surprise? The NBA always has cases of players who, with the right environment and proper guidance, exceed expectations. Sharp, with his height and natural rim protection ability, could be molded over time to become a valuable piece in the Lakers' rotation. And with a team that already features established superstars, Sharp wouldn't need to carry a heavy load from the start, which could be ideal for his gradual development. In the end, the decision on Sharp comes down to a dilemma: bet on an uncertain but potentially bright future, or focus on the immediate present and seek safer alternatives. The Lakers have already shown they're not afraid to make bold decisions when it comes to roster building, but this decision will require careful balance between long-term planning and the urgent need to compete now. As a Lakers fan, I really appreciate Jamarian Sharp's potential, but I also have some reservations. His height and blocking talent are impressive, and this could be a significant asset alongside Anthony Davis. The idea of having a defensive front court that makes it almost impossible for opponents to score near the rim is very appealing. However, the reality is that patience is not something Lakers fans typically have, especially when we're in a title window. What worries me is that Sharp still needs time to develop, and on a team that already has stars like LeBron and AD, we can't simply wait for him to become an impactful player in the time we need. I'm in favor of pursuing a more experienced option who can contribute immediately. Someone like Miles Turner, for example, would be a much better fit, as he would not only provide rim protection, but also the ability to stretch the floor with his outside shooting. This could create more space for LeBron and AD to attack, which is crucial in our playing style. If the Lakers decide to bring in Sharp, I wouldn't be against it. It would be interesting to see him develop and perhaps become a great player in the future. But for me, the focus needs to be on winning now. We have to maximize the time we have with LeBron and Davis at the peak of their careers. Therefore, while Sharp is an intriguing project, I think we need to prioritize options that can impact the team immediately. I'm curious to hear what other fans think. Are you ready to invest in a project, or do you prefer that we seek immediate solutions?